Hey guys, name's Isaac, previous CTO founder of a funded startup, and I run the checkout team at Pretty Little Thing. I've been having some cool conversations on my Twitter about this, and one of the most important skills I believe you can have is to cultivate an attitude of unblocking. There's two types of unblocking that I'm going to talk about, which is like horizontal and vertical. Horizontal being like how it affects like a broader team, which I'm going to speak to at the tail end, and then at the beginning the vertical way, which is basically how you or individuals next to you can kind of like use it to get things done. Take this with a pinch of salt because it does kind of depend on like where your team is at, depending on what their needs are. But if speed is paramount, this is like one of the best things you can do. So unblocking, what does that mean? It's the mentality that someone else not being able to do their work is actually just as important as you getting your work done. So it's, instead of thinking of it like defensively or maintenance, offensively, you need to be unblocking people so that everyone can get their work done. So when I joined Pretty Little Thing, I was using the vertical approach, which is meant I kind of only really use this unblocking attitude for myself, mostly because I was ignorant and I didn't really understand how to use it broader. But when I first joined the company, I thought like, okay, this is a big opportunity. I need to get my head down. I need to get some work done. And I did. And in terms of unblocking, if I had any kind of issue, I would fly off to the department that I had the issue with. So if a design came back for a bug or something that I didn't really understand, I'd sit down with them and go, hey, can you walk me through this? I don't get this. I'd ask questions instead of just, if a request came in, read it, assume, do the work, and then because I just assumed wrong, they'd send it back. So speaking to finance, like QA, anyone that I needed to. When you normally join a new company, there's like a 2-month period where you kind of expect people not to do any work, just because all the learning that they need to do to get them ready, and just like they need access to tools, and all of that takes quite a bit of like onboarding time. So my goal was like, I don't want to have any of that. I want to hit the ground running. So I was trying to speak to everyone. Now, by the end of that, 3 months down the line, I got promoted. I was hired as a senior and I got promoted to the lead of the checkout team. And in the review where I was getting the promotion, which I thought he was going to be like, oh yeah, you've done this, done that. And I was like, yeah, it wasn't. It was like 75% of the things he mentioned were all soft skills. It was nothing to do with hard skills. It was stuff like other departments have said you're very easy to get on with, or, if there's an issue, you go to people. And that was the thing that really worked for him. I'm not saying this to blow my own trumpet, because frankly, it was actually a mistake. I didn't know I was doing it. It was like a byproduct. But that was the thing that they valued the most. If you think about how useful that actually is to an employer, right? Like if 2 months of an employee's time when they first start is expected to be wasted, if they can trust you to not be blocked, like if there's an issue, you A, either speak about it, or B, go to someone else to get it sorted. The kind of relief that it puts on them to not have to micromanage you, and even just the lengthy onboarding process where they're paying and they're not getting any value out of you, it completely changes it. I honestly think when you join a new team, the thing that you can do to give the largest contribution is just to need as little hand-holding as possible. If you can cultivate that in yourself as like a midweight or a junior, even a senior, your output will be so much higher and it will be noticed in the team. So that's just kind of an overview of the vertical, which is like anytime you're idle or waiting, like who could you actually speak to get things done? Instead of waiting for messages to come back to you, can you actually chase up on it? It's little things, but they really do like add up if you have this mentality, and you'll start seeing more opportunities for it. And then the other part that I would talk about is the horizontal part, which is kind of like how you can affect the broader team doing it. Now, ironically, I also got reprimanded a few months later by the same manager that promoted me, because as I was running the checkout team, he was like, look, you're not letting other people fix some of the bugs. So again, with the whole vertical attitude of unblocking myself, I had like, if we had an issue on the checkout that needed doing, I would just do it, because why wouldn't I? His problem was that I'm not empowering the rest of the team, which at first, again, because I was kind of ignorant, I didn't really get it. I was like, well, if I can do it faster, why would I let other people do it? Not that I was trying to be a dick. It was just, again, this whole attitude of unblocking was paramount to me. And it's like the quickest way to do it was the best. As I got more senior, though, it did backfire. I didn't get it at first, but the longer it kind of went on, I started to understand a little bit. Like cross-training the team is one of the best things I could do. So towards the end of my role there, I'd realized like, let's say if I was busy doing something else, the rest of the team sort of became reliant, and it wasn't their fault. It was because I kept doing this stuff. Whereas if, let's say a bug came through and I actually sat down with them and I was like, I did it with them, or tried to allocate and distribute the work a little bit better, everyone would have cross-trained. They would have understood different parts of the puzzle that we were doing, and collectively the contribution would have been higher. So when I left them, there was actually a bit of a gap, and the company may have had to restructure people from other teams to bring them in instead of the team actually being self-sufficient, which is kind of the objective of a lead. So that was when I kind of realized the difference of, like, you know, vertical unblocking is great if you're in a position where you can do that, but as soon as you start being responsible for more people, you need to start thinking about horizontally. I took that to the start, which was the next thing that I did. And I actually had a rule for myself, which was like, only 40% of my time as a manager should I be working. Now, I know it sounds a bit crazy. It doesn't mean I was dosing off 60% of the time. But when I would schedule hard tasks, like things that needed concentration that I needed to get in the zone and focus for, it would only be 40% of my time that I scheduled for it. And then in the remaining 60%, the whole principle was, if someone needs my help, I'm willing to drop everything I have immediately to help them. You know, normally when devs are coming up to me and asking questions, it was simple things like, I don't know where we should store our secrets, you know, and it's like, oh, you know what, I've actually not even done the documentation for that. So, you know, I'd maybe write up and send it over to them. Great, you know, they're like, oh, I don't know which design file I should be using, send it over to them. Like, it's little things that take you like 50-20 minutes. But if you think about it, like, if that happened to them in the morning, that could have blocked them for the entire day. I think at our peak, we had like 6 devs. And if you can imagine, like, let's say 5 of the 6 devs are like blocked on something half day, early day, something like that. And I'm too busy to help them. It's like, we're actually wasting money because they literally can't do anything because I'm too busy to unblock them. So because I did it wrong, and then I used this technique, which I felt was right, I've seen the difference. But if a numerical example is a bit easier for people to see, if you imagine that a dev can output 4 points of work a day, and then let's say the manager, knowing the system and having built it, can do like 5, 6, and then you had like 3 devs. Okay, so let's say the devs are all blocked because you're not helping them. So the devs are capped at 2 points a day that they can do, and there's 3 of them. So 2 times 3, 6, plus the manager's contribution, let's say 6, 12 dev points. Okay, not bad. If the manager dropped their work down to 2 points, which is massive, it's like a third, which is like less than 40% even. But because of that, the rest of the devs were unblocked, so they could do 4 points instead of 2. So 4 points per dev, 3 devs, 12 plus my 2, that's 14. You're already doing higher. So the main takeaway of this is unblocking is getting the most out of the resources for your time. There's horizontal and vertical, and you kind of use them dependent on whether you need to affect the team as a whole or an individual. But honestly, I think it's one of the skills that gives you the biggest contribution in the workplace. So this is just my experience, but I hope this is useful to someone else. If it is, give it a share, all that stuff. See you guys.